Okay, let's dive into the story of a man who was once a bullied outcast and is now, well, arguably shaping the entire future of humanity. How in the world did that happen? Let's break down the source code behind Elon Musk.
You see, this whole story, it doesn't start with a hero. It starts with a lonely child, a kid who was bullied at school just for being different, often with tears in his eyes. But there was always this relentless fire inside him. He knew he was different, long before the rest of the world caught on. So the big question is, how did he get from there to here? We're going to explore the source code behind the man who went from outcast to the architect of our future. And we're going to look at the principles that really forged his vision.
His journey, it didn't start with privilege or connections. Nope, it started with isolation. And you know what? That isolation didn't break him. It actually forced him to build entire worlds inside his own mind. While all the other kids were outside playing, he was inside just devouring encyclopedias and talking to machines. He wasn't just passing the time, he was laying the foundation brick by brick for his entire future.
I mean, think about that for a second. At just 12 years old, he wasn't just playing video games, he was building them and then selling them. While most of us were figuring out Saturday morning cartoons, he was already an entrepreneur.
And that early spark, it wasn't just about business or making a quick buck. It grew into a vision that went so far beyond personal success, it was a vision aimed at completely rewriting humanity's destiny.
This was the huge question that was driving him. He read all this science fiction, but he didn't see it as fantasy. To him, it was more like a roadmap. He developed this core belief that for humanity to survive in the long run, our future just had to be bigger than our home planet.
See, he didn't just want to improve the world. He wanted to reinvent its entire operating system. He looked at our reality, stuck on one planet, burning fossil fuels, space being just for governments, and he imagined something completely different.
His whole philosophy was built on this one idea. He would intentionally tackle dreams that were so huge they seemed impossible not just to the world but probably even to him. That feeling of fear, that was the signal that he was on the right track.
But look, a vision that massive, it comes with an equally massive price tag. And that price isn't just paid in money. It's paid in relentless, almost superhuman effort and incredible personal sacrifice.
He saw a normal 8-hour workday as just completely insufficient for achieving these extraordinary goals. This number, it represents a philosophy. If you want to achieve in 1 year what takes other people 10, you have to operate on a schedule that pushes the absolute limits of human endurance.
And he put everything on the line. I mean, when he sold PayPal, he could have retired right then and there. Instead, he took every single dollar, all 180 million of them, and bet it all on 2 ideas everyone said were completely crazy. He sold his prized supercar, his luxuries, and yeah, at times he even slept on a couch at the office because there just wasn't time to go home.
And here's the really wild part. He wasn't just building one impossible company. He was building 2 of them at the exact same time. During the day, he'd be at SpaceX designing rockets. At night, he'd be over at Tesla solving battery problems. It was an all-out war against the odds, fought on 2 separate battlefields.
This relentless push, it led directly to the absolute darkest moment in his journey. This was a period where both companies were right on the brink of total collapse, and his dreams were literally turning into ash and smoke.
The situation was just dire. Both SpaceX and Tesla were running out of money, fast. The media was calling his electric car the joke of the century. Investors were pulling out. And worst of all, his rockets at SpaceX, they just kept exploding.
The failures were just relentless. 3 catastrophic explosions, millions of dollars turned into scrap metal. After that 3rd one, he had only enough money left for a single, final launch. His entire vision, everything, depended on this one moment. And then, against all odds, the 4th launch worked. It actually reached orbit. In that single instant, failure turned into a historic victory. That one success was all NASA needed to see. They awarded SpaceX this massive contract that didn't just save the rocket company, it also provided enough capital to save Tesla too.
So, what's the source code behind this incredible turnaround? When you really boil it all down, it comes down to 2 things: relentless learning and just unwavering resilience.
Okay, so he didn't have a degree in rocket science, right? So how did he build a rocket company? He taught himself using something called first principles. Instead of just buying expensive rockets, he asked, what are rockets actually made of? Well, aerospace-grade aluminum, titanium, copper, carbon fiber. Then he priced out those raw materials and realized they were only about 2% of a normal rocket's price. By breaking it all the way down, he figured out how to build a rocket from scratch for a fraction of the cost.
His core belief is that failure isn't some roadblock. It's just data. It's a lesson that you learn from, so you can try again, but this time better and faster. And that last point is so key. He believes that if a goal is important enough for humanity, you basically have a moral obligation to go for it, no matter how slim your chances are.
So ultimately, the journey of that lonely, bullied kid who dared to change the world, it's a testament to what's possible when you just refuse to give up. It's not about being the smartest person in the room or the richest, it's about being the most resilient.
His story really proves that a single person, armed with a dream that's big enough and the sheer will to fight for it, can, in fact, alter the course of history. He didn't sit around and wait for the future to happen. He decided to build it.
So that brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. What is the idea that you have that kind of scares you? You know, the one people might call crazy. Because that fear, that might just be a sign that it's big enough to actually matter. So what's the first small step you can take towards it today?